So in unit number 5, it is totally based on the numerical techniques. So numerical techniques means what? If we have given an equation, either it is algebraic equation or transcendental equation, or it is differential equation or integral equation, then it is not possible every time that we get the exact answer. है ना? Let us see. Suppose for example, if we have given x square plus x plus 1 equal to 0, correct? So clearly this is quadratic equation, so it has two roots, and we know that it has the roots since b square minus 4ac is equal to what? It is less than 0. Why? Because b square is 1 plus 1 minus 4 into 1 into 1. So this is minus 3, which is less than 0. So it has the imaginary roots. Both are the imaginary roots. So the very important point is what? If we have the imaginary roots, then obviously the imaginary roots will come in the pair. Suppose if x plus iy is the root of equation, then x minus iy will be also the roots of the equation. Correct. Now, if instead of imaginary roots, suppose we have real roots. So if we have the real roots, so that real roots will not be, it is not possible that the value of x is equal to 1, 2, 3, or any positive integer or negative value. It will come in the fraction number like 1 upon 2 or 1 upon 3 or any other fraction values, and which is not the fixed value, which will not be the fixed value. Suppose we have the values are in the form of rational number. Rational number means which is terminated. Suppose 1 upon 2, it is rational number. So the value of 1 upon 2 is 0.5. We can write its answer is 0.5. But it is not possible every time that we will get the rational root. We also get the irrational root. It is suppose root 2 or root 3 like that. So if we are getting the value of, if we are getting the solution or root of the given equation in terms of the irrational number, so at that time, the very important point is what is the exact value, because if we are saying about the irrational root, what it means, we won't get the exact value, we get only the approximate value. So numerical techniques give us that if we have given any equation, then how to find their approximate value or approximate root of the equation or approximate solution of the differential equation or approximate solution of the integral equation. So here in this unit number 5, we study about the algebraic polynomials, numerical solution of, there are two parts of this unit. One unit, first part is numerical solution of algebraic and transcendental equation, where algebraic polynomials and how to solve the algebraic polynomials. So we have three methods: bisection method, secant method, and Newton-Raphson method. So we study about these three methods. And the second part is numerical solution of differential equation. So it has, again, first method is Taylor series method, Euler's method, modify Euler's method, and Runge-Kutta fourth order method. So there are four methods in the numerical solution of differential equation and three methods in the algebraic solution of transcendental equation. Okay, so let us come to the first part, algebraic numerical solution of the algebraic and transcendental equation. Okay, one more method is two more method is predictive corrector method and Milnes method. These are the part of this method. So today let us discuss about the algebraic solution of transcendental and algebraic equation, numerical solution of algebraic and transcendental equation. So now, what is algebraic equation? So an equation which contains only the algebraic term is called the algebraic equation. Algebraic equation means, what is algebra? Algebra is what? Algebra is the branch of mathematics in which letters are played as a number. Letters are used for the numbers. Correct? So here, an equation which contains only the algebraic terms. Just look here, if we are writing here, just look here, a0 plus a1x plus a2x square plus a3x cube a n x n, this is a n x n. So this is called algebraic equation where only the algebraic number x, y, z are present. And this is called algebraic equation. Similarly, what is the transcendental equations? So an equation which contains trigonometric, logarithmic or exponential function is called a transcendental equation. Okay, for example, if we write like that, x square plus log x plus 1 equal to 0, or x e to the power x plus 1 equal to 0. Okay, or x 10x plus 1 equal to 0. So these are not algebraic equations. It is the mixture of algebraic equation and logarithmic equation, mixture of algebraic equation and exponential equation, mixture of algebraic equation and trigonometric equation. So such type of equations are called transcendental equations. So in this topic, we study both the type of equations, algebraic equations and transcendental equations. So let us first see there are some points which we have to note that. The first point is every polynomial equation of nth degree has n and only n roots. Okay. So if any polynomial is written, either it has the degree 5 or 6 or 7 or any degree. So how many degree of the polynomial is written, the same number of roots we have of that equations. Okay. So it is what has n and only n roots. The root will not be less than n or greater than n. Second, if n is odd, the polynomial equation has at least one real root whose sign is opposite to that of the last term. What it means? Just look here, if n is odd, suppose we have written x cube minus 1 equal to 0. For example, if n is odd, the polynomial equation has at least one real root whose sign is opposite to that of the last term. So now how we can write it? This can be written as x minus 1 x square plus x plus 1 equal to 0. So what is that? What is the power of this n is equal to 3, which is odd? So if n is odd, the polynomial equation has at least one real root. It has at least one real root whose sign is opposite to that of the last term. So what is the sign of the last term? It is minus. Okay. So the root of this equation is x equal to 1. For what is the real root of this equation? It is x equal to 1 and the remaining two roots are imaginary. So clearly this root is opposite of the last term sign. So this is also very important point if we have given any equation. Suppose we have given like that, x to the power 5 plus 1 equal to 0. So clearly it has one real root whose sign will be opposite to this plus 1. So x is equal to minus 1 will be the root of this equation. Okay, real roots of this equation. So in this manner, we can also get some predictions. Second, if n is even and the constant term is negative, and this is very important. Huh? If n is even and the constant term is negative, then the equation has at least one positive root and at least one negative root. For example, let us take very simple example, x square minus 1 equal to 0. So what is the constant term? It is minus 1, which is negative. Okay, so if you simplify it, what we will get? X minus 1 and x plus 1 equal to 0. Right, so now what we are getting? We are getting two roots, one is plus 1 and second is minus 1. Similarly, if we take x to the power 4 minus 1 equal to 0, so again we can write it x square minus 1, x square plus 1 equal to 0. So we are getting x is equal to 1 minus 1 and the two roots are imaginary. So now if n is even and the constant term is negative, then the equation has at least one positive root and at least one negative root. Next is, if the polynomial equation has real coefficients, then imaginary roots occurs in pairs. Correct? I have already discussed about it. If any polynomial equation has real coefficients, then imaginary roots occurs in pairs. So pairs means what? If suppose 1 plus I is the root of any equation, then 1 minus I will be also the root of the same equation. Next point. If polynomial equation has rational coefficients, then irrational roots occurs in pairs. Irrational roots means suppose one root is 2 plus root 2. Okay, so the another pair root is what? It is 2 minus root 2. This is irrational roots. That's why if the polynomial equation has rational coefficients, then irrational roots occurs in pairs. So if 2 plus root 2 is the root of the given equation, then 2 minus root 2 will be also the root of the given equation. Next point is a polynomial equation f of x equal to 0 cannot have more number of positive real roots than the number of changes of sign in the coefficient of f of x. Correct? What it means, suppose we have written like that, x cube minus x square plus x minus 1 equal to 0. So now if we see the terms of this term, so this is positive, this is negative, positive, negative. So how many times? So that's why a polynomial equation f of x equal to 0 cannot have more number of positive real roots than the number of changes of sign in the coefficients of the f of x. So how many times it changes? 1, 1, 2, 3. So it has not more than 3 roots. Similarly, a polynomial equation f of x equal to 0 cannot have more number of negative real roots than the number of changes of the sign in the coefficients of f of minus x. So these are some general observations regarding the equations. I think we have already studied about it in our lower classes, but now we should keep all these things to our mind and when we solve the equations. So today let us start the first method, which is called bisection method. Okay, bisection method. So what is the meaning of bisection method and what is the how to find out or how to identify or how to find the root of the any equation with the help of bisection method. So bisection method means what? If we have given any points, just look here. Bisection method means what? Let us see, we have given 2 points A and B. Okay, and we have to obtain, and we know that the root of the given equation lying between A and B. So bisection means let us find what is A plus B by 2. What is the middle of this? It is A plus B by 2. Okay, again we see that the very basic thing is, just look here, if f of x equal to 0 be an equation, if fx is continuous between A and B and f of A and f of B are opposite signs, then there is a root between A and B. So now suppose there are 2 points A and B. So at A the value of f of x is negative and at B the value of f of x is positive. So definitely if the function is continuous and at the end points, if the one value is negative, function value of A is negative and function value of B is positive, then definitely there is a root between these 2 points. So how to find that root? So what we have to do? We have to just find their middle point. Bisection means we have to divide this into 2 parts. Okay. So what is this? This is A plus B by 2. This is the third root. Okay. So this is the one root, A plus B by 2. Again, now again we check that at A plus B by 2, what is the value of f of A plus B by 2? Suppose it is negative. Suppose it is negative, then the roots will lie between this and these 2 points. And suppose if it is positive, if it is positive, okay, then the roots will lie between A, this and this point. Correct? So in this manner, suppose that this value is positive, negative. So the roots lies between this and these 2 points. So again we bisect this interval into 2 parts. So this is what? A plus B. Suppose this is C. Suppose this is C. So C plus B by 2. This is C plus B by 2. Okay, again at C plus B by 2, if the function value is negative, then the roots lies between these 2 points. If it is positive, then roots lie with this to this point. And then we again bisect it, again bisect it, again bisect it. So what will happen at the end? What we will go? We are going to very close. Suppose we have taken point 1, 1 and 2. So what is the middle point? It is 1.5. Again 1.5 to 2. This. So it is what? 3.5. 3.5 means 1.75. This is the point. Again, so now what will happen at the last? At the last, what will happen? The roots will lies between these 2 points, and at the last we will try to go very near to the approximate solution of the approximate root of the given equation. So this is the procedure of bisection method. Okay, so let us take one example, then it will be very clear. So find a root of the equation x cube minus 4x minus 9 equal to 0 using bisection method. Correct to the 3 decimal places. Correct to the 3 decimal places. So now let us first thing, we have to first decide that the very important point, if you are using the bisection method, then there should be 2 points at which the functional value of the given function will be negative and positive. So let us take it. It is randomly. We can check it. We can also put x equal to 0. So we have substituted x equal to 1. Let us consider f of x is equal to x cube minus 4x minus 9. We have taken this. So f of 1 is equal to what? It is 1 cube minus 4 into 1 minus 9. So 1 minus 13 is 1 minus 14 is equal to minus 13. F of 2 is what? It is f of 2 is equal to, again, minus, it is minus 9. But f of 3, what is f of 3? It is plus 6. So what it means, the root of this equation will lie between 2 to 3. So what is that? Since f of 2 equal to negative and f of 3 is positive, so the root of the equation is lying between 2 and 3, and which is given by x1 is equal to a plus b by 2 is equal to 2 plus 3 by 2 is equal to 5 by 2 equal to 2.5. Okay, so now this is what it is, 2 and this is 3. So this 2 and 3 is bisected, it is 2.5. So again, let us find what is the functional value of the given function at 2.5. So let us find out its value. What is f of 2.5? It is what? Again, put the x is equal to 2.5. So this is 2.5 whole cube minus 4 times of 2.5 minus 9. So 2.5 whole cube is what it is, 15.625 minus 2.5, 20 into 25 into 4 is 100. So if we put the decimal sign, it is 10 minus 9. So this is 15.625 and it is minus 19. So answer is negative. Answer is negative means what? Clearly this is negative. The roots will lie between 2.5 and 3. Let us come to the next step. Since f of 2.5 is negative and f of 3 is positive, so the root of the equation is lying between 2.5 and 3, and given by, again we take their mean value. So 2.5 plus 3 divided by 2 is equal to 5.5 upon 2, which is 2.75. Okay, so now this is the again second value. So again we check what is the functional value of the given function at 2.75. So let us find what is f of 2.75. So this is 2.75 whole cube minus 4 times of 2.75 minus 9. You can also use your calculator, right? So if we take the cube of 2.75, it will come 20.796875 minus 11 minus 9. Okay, so this is what it is, 20 plus minus 20, it is plus 20. Actually it is, again, it is positive value. Correct. So what it means, the root of the given equation, again, since f of 2.5 is negative and f of 2.75 is positive. Okay, so the interval will be less. Interval will be closer to the solution. So this is the root of the equation is lying between 2.5 and 2.75. 2.75. So what is that? We again take the average of these 2 points, a plus b by 2. So 2.5 plus 2.75 divided by 2 is equal to 5.25 is equal to 2 is equal to 2.625. Again we find out what is the functional value at this point. So f of 2.625 is equal to, if we substitute all these values, okay. So what is this value? It is again negative. It is negative. It is negative, and the functional value of f of 2.75, it is positive. So the roots will lies between 2.625 and 2.75. Since f of 2.625 is negative and f of 2.75 is positive, so the root of the equation is lying between 2.625 and 2.75, and which is given by, again we take the average. So now a plus b by 2 is equal to 2.625 plus 2.75 divided by 2, it is equal to 5.375 upon 2, which is equal to 2.6875. So this is the value of, so now we can say that it is the uh, stage number 2, stage number 3, stage number 4. Again, let us find, again, what is the value of 2.6875? What is its value? It is negative or positive. We have to only check that it is negative or positive. So the answer is what? It is negative. It is negative. So what will happen? The value of f of root will lies between 2.6875 and 2.75. Since f of 2.6875 is negative and f of 2.75 is positive, so the root of the equation is lying between 2.6875 and 2.75, and which is given by this. So again, what is this? It is 2.7171875. So in the same manner, we are able to find out. So f of f6, then f7, x7, x8, x9, x10, x11. So if we see this last part, this one, it is 2.760, 2.760, 2.76, sorry, 2.706, 2.706, 2.70, up to 3 decimal places. So now we can write it. The answer is what? 2.706. No need to write it for. So this is what it is, our answer. So now this is what it is, a very lengthy process. It is what we have to do, much more operations, or much more iterations we have to use over here. Okay, so this is the one example where we use the purely algebraic equation. Okay, so with the help of bisection method, we have obtained the approximate root of the algebraic equation. If we do the same thing, let us take another example. By using the bisection method, find an approximate root of the equation sin x is equal to 1 upon x. Just look here. This is what it is, not a algebraic equation. It is a transcendental equation. So that lies between x equal to 1 and x. So here we have already given that its root is lying between 1 and 1.5, and it is measured in radian up to the 7th stage. So now what we have to do? We have to perform, in the last example we have performed 12th stage. Now here we have to only perform 7th stage. So we have to find an approximate root of the following equation using bisection method. So x sin x minus 1 equal to 0. How can we write it? What is that? Sin x is equal to 1 upon x. So multiply this to this side. What we can write it? X sin x minus 1 equal to 0. So let us consider it is f of x. F of x is equal to x sin x minus 1. Okay. So let f of x is equal to x sin x minus 1. Since we know that f of x is equal to x sin x minus 1, and 1 radian. What is the value of 1 radian? Let us see. This is, I think, leave this part. 1 radian. What is 1 radian? 1 radian is equal to what? 1 radian is equal to 180 divided by pi. So this is what? 180 divided by 3.14. So this is what it is, approximate 57.3 degree. You know? So since if you put over the value, because the value of x is what it is in the uh, here, it is in radian. So if you want to find the value of x here, you cannot put in the 1 now. It will be in terms of degree. So we convert into 1 radian will be converted as a 57.3 degree. So now consider f of 1 is equal to 1. Sine 1 means what? 1 radian is what? It is 57.3 degree minus 1. So now what we are getting? Its answer is minus negative value we are getting. Correct? F of 1.5, same manner, we put the value of what is 1.5 radian. It is 85.95 degree. You can convert it, you can write down, you can check with the calculator. Its value is positive. So this is negative, this is positive. So what it means, roots will lie between 1.1 and 1.5. So since f of 1 is equal to minus negative and f of 1.5 is positive, so the roots of the equation is lying between 1 and 1.5 and is given by the same formula we use over here. So it is 1.25. Again, we check what is the value of function value of the given function at 1.25. So it is again, what is this? It is positive. So the roots will lie between f of 1 to f of 1.25. So f of 1 is negative and f of 1.25 is positive. So therefore roots will lie 1 to 1.25. So what is the second root? It is 1.125. Again, we put what is the value of f of 1.125. It is positive. It is positive. So the roots will lie between 1 and 1.125. And which is given by, this is third stage. It is 1.0625. Again, we will calculate what is the functional value of f of 1.0625. So it is what we are getting, it is negative value. This is negative, and for this value we are getting positive value. So the roots will lie between 1.0625 to 1.125. Since this is negative and this is positive, so the roots of the equation lying between 1.0625 to this, which is given by, again take the average of these 2 points. So we have 1.093375. Again, we calculate the value of the function at this is negative. This is negative. So the roots will lie between this and 1.125. And which is given by this. So this is x5. Similarly, we can find x6. And similarly, we can find x7. So now we have to perform only the 7 stage. So what is the answer we are getting in the last? Okay. What is the answer? This is 1.11328. Just look here. If you see this and its previous roots, it is 1.11, it is 1.11, it is 7. So it is only correct up to two decimal places. Only correct up to 2 decimal places. So now if you want to find the 3 decimal places, for example, in this example, it is our final answer. But suppose it is given that up to 3 decimal places, up to 4 decimal places, then we have to increase the number of stages, number of operations. Okay. So clearly here, hence the desired approximate value of the root is 1.1132. So in this is what it is, bisection method, and it is very lengthy method. Okay. So in the same manner, we are able to find a root of the following equations using the bisection method, correct to 3 decimal places. Correct. So definitely it is lengthy process. So at least you should perform minimum 10 operations. 10 iteration everybody has to perform. Question number 1. So first 4 equations are what? It are based on the algebraic equations, and the next 4 equations are based on the transcendental equation. Okay, so I think everybody can solve these examples. Okay, and I think this is very simple method. Everybody can solve.